To anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order. Talent gets you here, but your story make you stand out. Rooted from the source, so it's knowledge that we pass out. Gotta turn your dial to 108.1. Let's bumpin' nerve DJs while I ride in the sun. Jobs gon' speak the real like you suppose. DJ Shiny Shine always keep Mondays on the road. Various topics get discussed more frequently. We keep an open mind, you can learn something easily. Make sure you tune in and stay up to date, and submit your music in for that radio play. You can also get an interview if it's approved. Hit that link in the bio, we'll get to you soon. Intellectually petty radio on your stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order. Intellectually petty radio on the stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. Y'all already know, sponsored by M3S3 Clothing. Men make moves and suckers stand still. And as always, tapped in with NerveDJsRadio.com. We got legends. Today is no different. We have a special show for a special individual. Cleveland's own, New Era's own, Chairman Fahiem is in the building. I don't know how to brain freeze right there, bro. My bad.
Yo, that intro was dope. I love the man. Yeah, I was gonna ask that. That was my next question. Was if that was bro? That was fire, and even like the visuals that you had, man.
That's my guy, and actually in London. Is it London? I don't know what. I know he stays in England, but he does like all my intros and shit. Yeah, he had GMG.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was dope.
That
was dope, man.
Yeah, appreciate that.
That made me feel like a, 90s sitcom vibe type intro.
Damn, I just need to see when I'm in the studio. I got the claps and shit. See, I can give you.
Okay.
Yo, man, how's your life? How's family?
Oh man, all is well. Can't complain. One day at a time. Grateful for life.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you for coming on, man. Where you want to start at? We can start at the current events and go backwards, or
we can start at the beginning. Yeah, I paint a picture.
All right. So, activism. Why?
I really, to be honest, I didn't really have a choice. Growing up in the environments that we grew up in, I was born and raised Kinsman County back in the day. And then my family moved over to like the Buckeye area. So I spent a lot of time Woodland, Buckeye. And then my father was a very, very heavy influence in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Former NOI. My father was a former activist back in the day. My father was one of those revolutionary young men. And in '93, they had unified the gangs in Cleveland. Back then, it was like GDs and, all that stuff. GDs, BDs, all that stuff back in the day in the early 90s. So my father was a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I grew up with that influence on my day-to-day. And then my father would put images of the Panthers in front of us. Malcolm, all these prolific black movements, the MOVE movement. These were things I learned that at a very early age. So I didn't really have a choice.
That's what's up. Shout out to the old man.
Yes,
That's dope. Love to hear that. So you fast forward, was there like an incident that said, you know what, I need to get out the house and get active? Or was it just like a progression, a slow progression for you as you matured into an adult?
Yes, I would say it was a slow progression. I always had this same mindset. I always talked the same way I'm talking now. I always had these same conversations, but I wasn't really active in my community, like doing anything outside. If I came across, people in the neighborhood, I would always share game, put in my 2 cents. But then I would say probably the murder of Tamir Rice was the first time I actually stepped outside for a cause, for a purpose, and was like, hold on, this is a problem right here. Y'all done really crossed the line.
And what you do? What was the first thing you did?
Yeah, the first thing, I went to a protest. That's my first protest. So I went to a protest after Tamir Rice was murdered. we went on the freeway. I mean, we was on 55th. We were downtown. We kind of just like took the city over for a few hours,
Yeah.
and it made me feel empowered. But after I left that, I was like, damn, what are our next steps? We done got people all riled up. People are infuriated and they're ready to do something, but what's the next steps? And for me, that's what led me to New Era.
Okay. Did we do enough?
No, not at all. I don't think the city responded in the way that it should have when that happened. We didn't check that situation.
Like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I'm
Mhm.
from Detroit, but I've been in Cleveland about 20
Okay.
years. First thing I noticed was, and I'm trying to figure out how to say this without being offensive, but black folks kind of stayed where black folks were supposed to stay.
Mm, hmm
And being from Detroit, where everybody around me looks like me,
hmm
I wasn't accustomed to that.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
80% of
niggas
Detroit is
here that
black.
ain't never left their neighborhood and they
hmm
40.
hmm Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't understand that mindset. And so when
Yeah.
Tamira got killed, it just kind of highlighted that. Although
Yeah.
I saw the strength in our people, a lot
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. And,
It was
and what?
inspiring.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
so how did you find out about New Era?
Online on social media. So after that happened, after I went out to those protests, I just started searching. For people doing the work, I was watching YouTube videos
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. And time goes by, and I stumble across New Era Detroit, and I'm looking on their Instagram, and I'm seeing this brother by the name of Zeke Capo Zeke, my big brother, mentor. I'm watching him inside of this store in which a customer was assaulted
Yeah.
by the owner and the employees in that store. They accosted this man, and then to see all to see the community respond. And I mean, they was in the store like, y'all ain't making no money today.
Yeah, they was
Um,
deep up in that
Come on
boy.
now, and the way he was talking to him, like, I've been around men that talk like that off in the side rooms. I never been around or seen a black man speak like that directly to someone of a different ethnicity. So to see that was empowering for me. I'm like, man, this brother fearless. He not afraid, and everything he's speaking is true. And even watching it on my phone, like I'm sitting there, like, man, I wanna go there with y'all. I want to do this. I want to be there. So I reached out, and I was actually willing to drive to Detroit. I was like, man, listen, I'll make that trip. However often y'all doing something, I'll come up there. And I said, no, we got a chapter in Cleveland. And so I reached out to the Cleveland chapter, and I started volunteering, and I've been there ever since. I haven't missed a single event in 6 years.
I remember Koya actually
Yeah.
turned me on. I came to a meeting one time,
hmm
and I'm just not a really like this is kind of more my thing,
hmm
and
Everybody got their lane. Yes, sir.
everybody got their lane.
Yep.
Like
And it's
and
all
I'm
needed.
I'm ratchet to an extent. I'm an old ratchet nigga who appreciates the strength that we have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I kind of got both sides of that.
Mm-hmm.
But man, when
We
I
all do.
like
Balance.
watching her strength in
Yeah.
Koya, like
Yeah.
she was an inspiring person. Like, was she the
Yeah.
first person that did she start New Era Cleveland?
Yeah. Corey was one of the founding members.
Uh huh.
And the work that they did was so monumental, and really setting a platform for us as an entire organization, not even just the Cleveland chapter, to really have a presence and to have the notoriety that we have now. And Core was one of the first members I've met. Um, and then we found out we actually lived, at the time I was living on Buckeye, and then
Mm,
we found out we lived in the same neighborhood. So that was instantly, big sis from
yeah,
day one.
yeah. Koya's dope.
Very intellectual, very
Oh my god.
intellectual. And I
Yeah.
mean, to hear a woman speak like that, I, I grew up around some strong women. So that gave me auntie, big sister vibes. Like, that was just a reminder of home for me being in Koya's presence.
Okay, so you get a New Era. At what point do you decide I want to be the guy? I want to be the
Yeah.
face.
Um, that was not a decision that that I made. That wasn't even actually a goal of mine. Just time, time and being dedicated and always showing up And then, you know, coming to the table with something to offer, I kind of positioned myself unconsciously to be in that spot. And I'm just grateful for those that came before me to recognize that and to say, you know, it's your time. You know, I see everything that you're doing. It resonates. We feel your passion. I see you dedicated unlike no other. So, you know, that was powerful for them to feel like now it's the time to pass the torch to me. So I took it and ran with it.
It's some difficult shit too, though. Like, and you
Absolutely.
married,
Yes,
like,
sir.
it's
Yes, sir.
not just you in power.
Yeah.
It's you and your wife.
Yeah. Yes,
Even though
sir.
she may not necessarily be doing, outside and active like you are,
Yeah.
she there when you get in the call at 3 o'clock in the morning that somebody
Yeah.
fucked up,
Yeah.
or
Yes, sir.
somebody needs some help, or somebody, whatever the case may
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. And
It's
I'll say this: she's not there all of the time, but a good portion. I mean, like when the heat is on, she's present. She's a Marine,
oh wow.
aviation specialist, and a social worker. So, you know, that's like a good portion of the brains of the operation. But she, sometimes I be able to tell her like, oh, listen, I don't think this is a good idea for you to be present for this. And she like, listen, I'm coming. Listen, I'm
That's
coming.
dope.
You know, yeah, powerful, and I'm grateful. I'm
Oh
grateful.
my god, man, black love is beautiful.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
oh my god, and it's not. Oh, whew, man, you got me on that one, man, because it don't happen all that often.
Yeah, come on. And I'll be completely honest. That was a huge contributing factor to my elevation and maturity. I'll say, yeah, I put a heavy emphasis on that word, maturity. It was a huge influence in regards to that. I think she in
Oh,
the kitchen talking about right. I think I heard her. I think she tuned in. She in the kitchen. I think I heard her say right.
well, good for you, Queen. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. It
yeah,
ain't, it's a partnership in this shit. No
yeah.
matter,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of how it's divvied up, if you don't have, if you with somebody and they are not with you on
Mm,
this journey,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
then the journey is gonna be short
mm.
lived,
Come on now. When
man.
when you can't share what you do, your passion with your partner,
God,
you
it's
know, you
crippling.
only come on now, you only able to share stories because they weren't present or they don't care, you know, and then the amount of time and energy and resources that we dedicate to this, I couldn't do this without her. I couldn't do this without you know, that just that constant support.
One of the most horrible things you can ever experience is to be passionate about something and come tell like it's always somebody in your life you want to tell
Hmm.
first.
Hmm.
And if you're with a woman, that's typically who you want to
Hmm.
come home and baby, this happened.
Yeah,
And to
yeah.
see a bland ass look on their face,
Come on now. Why you telling me this? Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've
what
been there.
exactly what the, man, stop it. Hey,
Listen, I've been there. Man,
yo, yeah.
I'm listen, that's why I'm so appreciative. I've been there.
Oh my
Mm.
God. So what exactly does New Era do?
Yeah, you know, when people ask that question, my response is always New Era Cleveland is anything and everything that we have to be at any given moment. We really try to cover every base. Whether it's, you know, when the pandemic first happened, um, we already living in experiencing food apartheid. So we created a COVID-19 response team, a task force, and we focused on food distribution, making sure that people had groceries. And initially, again, like all things seem to start out for us, it started out small. We were putting our own dollars up, going to Sam's Club, going to GFS, um, Costco's, and we were just buying, you know, a gang of food for people. We would package it up, and we were doing drop offs, and then that developed into a partnership with Garden Valley Neighborhood House. And next thing you know, we got a grocery delivery route that we were operating at least one day a week, and we were servicing between 30 to 50 people. Um, you know, and this is like something that's just sparked from us going to Sam's Club. You know, fast forward to the point now where we fed over 60,000 families in northeastern Ohio, from
Wow.
Cleveland, East Cleveland, Parma, Garfield, Euclid.
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Um,
whoa, whoa. Parma.
yeah, 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 yeah. This is
Ain't no
part of
black people in Parma.
it's a few,
It's like
but
three. Like, let's keep it
Yeah,
a buck, bro.
yeah, it's a few. And I'll be completely honest, we don't even limit our services to it's black first, absolutely.
Okay.
But if there's a, um,
The Fred
you know,
Hampton
it's
approach.
come on, absolutely, yeah, absolutely, because
Got
we
you.
have white people experiencing poverty as well. So it may be a house where there's a 83-year-old elderly white woman, with no transportation. That's a need that we're gonna step up to that plate. We're not gonna say just because you white, we're not gonna service you. Again, like, but in the organization now, you got a lot of people with a different mindset or a different theory. So
Yeah,
that
that
was
can't fly
something
with
that,
everybody.
yeah, nah, but then again, in regards to elevating, it was a mindset like we gotta, and I say this all the time, we have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable if we're growing. And for us, when we cut off a certain population of people, that puts us in a box. And then that also creates a stigma with this movement that we don't want to attach to this movement because
But
this is a
that's
movement for the
already,
people.
it's already there.
Yeah,
Like we
yeah,
already
yeah.
know, especially in Cleveland, we're in a box, and
Hmm.
especially in Cleveland, the stigma is attacked. Anytime five niggas get together, it's a
Yeah,
gang,
yep, yeah,
and I
yep,
don't care how many, like
yep,
it's tough. I'll put it to you
yeah,
that way, and I've seen
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Is it reciprocated from other communities to New Era?
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
I would
dope.
say in every neighborhood we go in, it's love and respect. Um, I mean, from the west side to the east side. We service in the Hispanic community. They out there with us, and we're big on making sure that we include people from the community in what we're doing. So we don't
Okay,
just it's not a surprise when we show up.
okay, that's
Yeah,
dope. Shout out to Caesar Rio. He tapped in.
my brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
And that
Yeah, that's
intro
crazy.
fire, man. I'm listening like,
Yo,
oh.
I woke up, bro, at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I check my emails, and I'm like, oh shit, because I reached
mm,
out. I'm like, I need a new intro, and he was like, I
hmm.
got you. And I didn't even reach out to him specifically. I just put it in the ecosphere, whatever the fuck it's
Yes,
called.
sir. Yes,
I
sir.
posted it online. I need a new intro,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, I got you. And I
Mm,
heard that shit,
mm,
and I was like, yo, and
mm,
I'm sitting back, and I'm like I damn near cried, bro. And I'm keeping a
mm,
buck
mm.
because
The bro be
somebody
grinding.
there was
Mm,
somebody, but dude took a part of his life,
mm,
and he didn't just randomly make it. He went through
mm,
my Instagram page
mm,
so that he could tap into certain things.
mm, mm,
And yo, when I heard my
mm.
name, nigga was like, oh,
Yeah,
like I couldn't believe that somebody just for nothing
yeah, yeah.
took
Come
a
on,
took a slice of their
come
life to
on.
do something for somebody else.
But I speak to we talk about the heart or the character of a person.
Man,
That's what that's how I if I'm ever judging a person, that's what I'm judging based off of. So my relationships are dictated off of that, and that's why it's all love every time I see bro. We from the same neighborhood, grew up in the same hood, so that's why that's family, And bro always drop gems. I mean, this ain't nothing new. Like the way that he speaks, this always been a thing. That's always been him. So it's not even just this is a lane in music that he trying to drive, but this is who he is. And it's real. When it's real, it resonates.
okay. So let's get to the juicy part.
Yes, sir.
You're walking down the street with a heater.
Yes, sir.
You can
Two.
legally, you can, it was two.
Yes, sir.
I did not know that. You can legally do that here in the state
Mm-hmm.
of Ohio. Matter of fact, all you need is a post and a clean record, and you can get a
Yep.
gun.
Yes, sir.
Cops
Yep.
show up and want to arrest you
Yeah.
and try to rationalize what they're doing as if you are the boogeyman and you have committed
Yeah.
some crime.
Yeah.
Why were you there?
Yeah. Yeah. So, early hours of the morning, a 14-year-old was murdered. Abriana Jackson, 14 years old. She was in the safety and confines of her own home when bullets went through her window. The house was shot up, as well as two other houses, on each side. So that took place, and then there was a shooting at a visual. After the funeral service, they went back and had like some type of memorial service or something like that, and it was shot
Wow.
up. And then a few blocks away from that, this is all transpiring in the same neighborhood, Glenville, St. Clair area. Another shooting happens at Tops Plaza, And from that shooting, I believe it was 122 shell casings that was retrieved from that site.
Damn.
So you shoot into a crowd of people, you letting off all those shots. That's a mass shooting.
Yes.
That's
Absolutely.
those two incidences are mass shootings. I define those as this federal government defined those as mass shootings.
Absolutely.
And then a baby being murdered. It's something about when harm is done to these children out here in our community, because that's the only place it happens at. Just there's never any outrage or response from the community. We might folks might go outside and cause some type of uproar or hoopla, but it never moves past that. So my objective with going out there was to really show the community, like, okay, it's y'all safe, y'all protected. It's a familiar face out here. I didn't see any police presence. I ended up driving around that whole neighborhood before I even got out the vehicle. So no police presence. So I got out and do what we always do. I got active.
And
First cop.
how long before the cops show up?
Ah, it was maybe about 20 minutes.
So
Yeah,
so
about
let me get this straight. And you in a black neighborhood, you on the east
yeah,
side.
yep.
And them niggas ain't calling nobody when houses is getting shot up.
Nah, nope.
But because of you there,
Yeah,
okay. All right. So how long
yeah.
before they show up?
It was about 20 minutes. So I started at 105 in St. Clair. By the time I got to like 93rd, 94th in St. Clair, then I was stopped. And during this
Okay.
time, I stopped. I'm talking to people, dapping people up. Folks is blowing their horns. So I'm engaging with people. They see me outside. I got a vest. I'm a familiar face in the
Right.
community.
Right.
So when they see me, people, showing love. And then the first cop comes once I get to like about 95th, 94th, 93rd. And he rolls the window down and he starts yelling at me. Hey man, what you doing? You can't be out here doing that. You scaring people. I'm like, sir, I'm not scaring anybody. Nobody's running away from me. I just got done talking to a security guard at Tops Plaza. A few minutes ago. I'm not saying this to him, but I'm just telling him like, nobody's running away. Nobody's afraid. You scare people every day that you clock in and come to work. You know, so he's like, is there a reason why you're carrying the firearm? And then I give him, why this is why I'm here. And then I ask him, am I under arrest? Am I being detained? He says no. I say, okay, I'm free to go. He says yes. Another car pulls up. I mean, literally minutes later, 2 to 3 minutes later, another car pulls up, and this guy's yelling out his window. There's a dog in the back. You can kind of hear the dog barking, and he's yelling at me. I disregard him, so I don't have to answer any questions. I just gave him, I just told him what's up. I
Yeah.
don't have to talk to you. I'm gonna keep moving forward. And the third squad car pulls up. The two squad cars fall back. This third car pulls up, and two officers get out. Um, Officer Santa, white female police officer, and then another officer. I can't remember his last name, but I recognize him because the last two graduating class of Cleveland police officers, I taught a class on this is how you engage when you guys are in our communities because they're visitors. Most of these cops are not even from Cleveland. They
Facts.
from Avon, East Lake, and all other surrounding cities and suburbs.
Facts.
Um, so when y'all come into our communities, this is how y'all engage with our people. So he recognizes me. We talk. He's like, "Hey, what's up? How you been?" Blah blah blah. Officer Santa asks me, "Hey, what's going on?" I tell her what happened. I put the firearm down on the ground, the shotgun I'm carrying at this point. She's being respectful. I'm being respectful. We can have a conversation. I'm not some type of tyrant.
Right.
So her and I are talking. Again, I asked her, "Hey, am I under arrest? Am I free to go?" She says, "Yes, you're free to go." So I proceed forward, and then moments after I get done talking to her, Sergeant Henderson pulls up. This is the sergeant that jumps out the car, takes shelter behind the telephone pole, and points his firearm at my face, and we're feet apart away from each other, and he's saying, "I'm not letting you move any more forward." And then he proceeds to scream, "Take your finger off the trigger, take your finger off the trigger." He said it like 3 to 4 times, but he said it so convincingly that even myself, I had to look down and check. I'm like, wait, I'm holding the shotgun. I got my cell phone. I'm on Instagram Live in one hand, and I'm like, my hand is on the barrel of the shotgun. I'm holding it by the barrel. If anybody with half a brain that know anything about guns, especially a shotgun, to accurately fire a shotgun, you need two hands. You know, Sergeant Henderson says that on the body cam footage when he's talking to my parents afterwards. You know, hey, he didn't really pose any threat. He only had the gun in one hand, blah, blah, blah. But in the video, he's saying, take my finger off the trigger. So at that time, I put the camera on the shotgun, showing that my finger's not on the trigger. So, you know, why are you saying that? And that was like dog whistling. You know, it was like the prequel to shots being fired.
Yeah.
You know, but why he didn't fire, I can't say. I can't tell you like, you know, why he didn't let off shots in that moment.
Did
But
you
I was
think
so
at that moment that he was going to shoot you?
I was convinced. You know, the moment they surrounded me, yeah,
Okay.
that was going to transpire. At that time, it was 8 squad cars, a dozen police officers, a K9 unit, a gang task force, and then listening to the body camera, they requested a helicopter for a man that was walking on foot
That didn't attempt to get away.
that did not attempt to get away. That actually talked to police officers. And unbeknownst to me at that time, but once we got the body cam footage, they had identified who I was. That cadet told them like he teaches a class. This is what they do.
They knew who you were, bruh. Like
They knew who I was.
from
Yes,
the
sir.
first cop.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree.
The community. How do you feel? Are you disappointed in our response? Are you pleased with how we responded?
I'll say this. When I was out there, I mean, I was so proud. Like when I say that St. Clair stood up, when I was surrounded, the cops were telling folks go back in the house, and people was like, "Nah, we ain't going in the house." You know, um, this part I always like get emotional, so I be trying not to get choked up.
It's okay, bruh.
Um,
Be you.
you know, but yeah, the way they stood there for me and made sure that nothing happened. You know, made sure that I didn't lose my life. That played a role in why that cop didn't fire shots either. Because by the time I look across the street, folks was on the curb. I mean, I'm surrounded by police on the opposite end of the street, and folks are on the curb. I'm talking like 15, 20 people. Like, listen, y'all ain't not this one. Y'all ain't finna leave them alone. You know, folks was yelling stuff at the cops. So that contributed to why, you know, why it didn't really escalate any further, as well. And then when they put the cuffs on me, I had the vest on. I had the book bag on. So they're taking the book bag off and the vest off. I slip my arm out and I throw my fist up. And on body cam, you could hear the crowd cheering. Like you hear people just like, you know, really getting excited. So, yeah.
Wow. So they arrest you. You in the car. What they saying to you? Or and you know what? Like I don't want to. Cause I know you suing.
Yeah. Yeah, this is
So
all on body cam, so I can
okay.
dive into that. I won't speak on like the lawsuit
Okay.
details, but you know, just on everything that's public record, that's on body cam, that's been released on all these different media outlets. Yeah, so I'm in the back of the car, and when he puts the cuffs on me, throws me in the back of the car, Sergeant Henderson says CCW, and then all of them burst out into laughter. So I'm trying to figure out like, damn, you know, well, I'll backtrack. The cuffs are on me. They're taking me to the car. The one of the officers who at the time he had a rifle in his hand, black officer. And I'll say this: the most aggressive officers on the scene
Always.
were black men.
Always.
Two in particular, the only two that I saw point their firearms at me, and on body cam, one could be heard saying, "Let's get him." They were labeling me a vigilante. So this officer is like, "Yeah, let's get him. Let's get him." You know, like rallying up the lynch mob. You know, let's get him. So this officer comes up to me. He said, "Hey, man, you know, you're talking about you're out here protecting your community. You can't do that. That's not your job. That's not your response." I'm like, "Man, a baby got killed." He said, what he said, "Not my problem, not my problem." And then he tells me, you know, it's not my responsibility to protect the community. I was like, okay, well, whose is it then? You know, a baby got murdered. You know, whose responsibility is it to respond to that? If we can't count on y'all to do it, whose is it? This it's been 2 mass shootings over here. You know, no police presence. You know, who's gonna get out here and make sure that this doesn't keep happening? You know, who's gonna stand up? And this happening in our neighborhoods and we tired. You know, I got family over there. We got members that live in the same, you know,
Right.
so no, we're not about to keep allowing this to happen and there's no response. So there's a back and forth between me and them. Throw me in the car. He says CCW. They start laughing, slam the door. And then he starts talking to my parents. Sergeant Henderson's talking to my parents at this time. I'm in the back of the car, but I can see it. And I'm looking at my dad, my mom.
Take your time, bro.
They were so confused. Like, how did this escalate to this? What happened? And listen to him talk to my parents, and he just was so calm, lying to their faces. Like, the situation wasn't just a tense standoff. He's like, hey, I just told him put the gun down. It wasn't really much said. He listened, he complied. He didn't really pose a threat. He's only getting charged with inducing panic. My dad, like, inducing panic? What is this? And then the improperly handling of a firearm. My parents at this point now, they're believing him, but then there's that doubt. Like, wait a minute, we know our child. Like,
Right.
What you're saying isn't making sense, and then these charges aren't making sense. So they're offering a little bit of pushback right there, and that made me be like, I love them, like, for that, But he lied straight to their faces, He lied and told them that he de-escalated the situation when in fact he's the one that pointed his firearm at my face. Y'all got a German Shepherd. Like, where we at? Is this Nazi Germany? Am I some type of is this a lynch mob? What are y'all really trying to gain here in this moment? Y'all already identified who I was. You already acknowledged that I posed no threat. Why is this K9 necessary? And then the officer saying something, I don't know, in German and whatever language it was, but it was getting the dog riled up. At the same time, I'm being asked to put my firearm down. So at this moment, I'm like, I'm not going to make it out of this situation right here without it. So I just was like, okay, whatever it's going to be is what it's going to be.
Wow. And like, you hear people all the time, there's good cops and there's bad cops. And this is a prime example of there apparently were some decent folk there.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
Who were willing to step aside and remove their morality because there was somebody who was not as decent as them willing to take it the distance. It just gives you a good glimpse into the
culture of policing.
The culture. And I can't even say, and I am not a police guy at all, but I can't say it's the culture of policing. It is the culture.
Yes,
because
sir.
the same people in that neighborhood that stood up for you stood down when 3 houses got shot up.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Those people didn't come out on their porch then.
Yes,
they hid in their own homes.
Turn the blind eye.
And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I have been that person before. I'm gonna give you a story. We stayed. My cousin's got a house off of Harvard. It's a nice house. And we had our landlord sold the house, so we needed somewhere to go immediately. Nice house, it's family. Bam, we over there. I'm walking my dog. I'm looking out the window, and I see these young cats. I've been those young cats before, so I knew what the fuck was up. They pull up in this driveway, turn around, and I hear shots. 2 houses down from me. These niggas turn away, come back, and shoot it up again. I'm walking my dog a couple of days later. It's a cat that lives in that house that was talking to somebody across the street. Same guys come back. He peeps him this time. And first off, this nigga couldn't shoot a fucking clown in his basement. But this dude unloads on this car and doesn't hit a thing. Which is like extremely sad, but he had no problem upping his pipe in the middle of the street. I sat and watched the cops come. I didn't even bother calling the cops because I knew how it was going to go down. They came, picked up the bullets, and left. They didn't knock on the door. They didn't canvass anything. I was walking I had to grab my dog up and dip back in the house. I had to run in my own house.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that is the catch 22 of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'd have up
Mm-hmm.
pipe on one of those kids, I'd be on the news for killing a
Yeah.
kid, like that
Killing
one
that
brother
kid.
did
Yeah.
some years ago when he shot the kid that was trying to rob him, and the
Yeah.
neighborhood moved that nigga out of his house.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, I say all that to say that the culture we live in, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't want people to take this as an excuse for them. It's not,
Mm-hmm.
but we all fucked up.
Yeah. It's the truth. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
This culture promotes the devalue of our lives. This culture, and this our culture. We embrace it. This is the culture we've been um, given, but it's been beaten into us
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
You know, we talk about social engineering and programming the people. You enslave the people for centuries, you know,
Yeah,
and then expect for them to act civilized. And you put them in projects. You create redlining. You create all of these systematic um, operations of oppression, and you expect for people to thrive. You put them in survival mode. You know, so it's like our. But I'm big on accountability. So that's
yeah,
why I'm like, you know, yes, all of these things are happening, but you know, I want to say this, and I hope people don't get offended by it. But if they do, this is still truth. When Kanye said that line, and I'm, you know, bro got some mental issues for sure. He needs some help, you know. But it was something he said that really resonated, and it caused a lot of controversy when he said slavery is a choice. And then, you know, at first I was one of those people like, man, like you tripping, bro. Like we ain't choose to, you know. But he was saying like staying in those conditions was a choice. You know, we think about Nat Turner, Sojourner Truth, Harriet, the ones that had courage. I wear this Haitian flag as a reminder, you know, of those that had the courage to say, you know, even if I don't reap the benefits of freedom, I'm willing to pay the price to ensure that this next generation reap these benefits. So that's like the mindset that once I learned about that, I'm like, come on now, this is where I need to go with it, you know?
yo,
Mm,
man. I've had some interesting cats over the years on the show, man. And every time I get an active brother or sister on the show, I bring up Grandmaster Jay,
mm,
just because Grandmaster Jay needs to be brought up every fucking time we can,
mm, mm-hmm,
because they stole that man and we
yeah,
allowed it because we thought that
yeah,
nigga was an asshole.
yeah, yeah. This is the not effing around click.
Yes.
Yeah, listen, when you roll through um clan territory, clan town, clan country, with all them black folks and y'all strapped up like that, oh yeah, for sure. They're gonna find a way to make sure they sit you down somewhere in the back room where nobody never to be heard from ever again.
Yeah.
Um, you know, and this was one thing about that whole situation that really was the most profound moment. And I didn't learn about this until I got out. You know, as they taking me downtown, I'm telling them like, listen, y'all better let me use the phone ASAP. Y'all better let me make a phone call because my people about to be pulling up. And they were pulling up on the scene. Like they had to get me out of there on the body cam. They're like, let's go. People pulling up, get him out of here ASAP. Um, you know, my people were going to come to that county jail. My wife told them, y'all got until 1 o'clock the next day. This time this was Tuesday. That was on a Monday. This was Tuesday going into Wednesday. She told them, y'all got to 1 o'clock Thursday. 36 hours. We're gonna give y'all that time. Y'all got to 36 hours to release him or we're coming to get him. And she meant that.
Man, I see you about to have me crying in this bitch. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like,
she meant that. That county jail was gonna be surrounded. I mean, you know, all listen, when I say at that in that moment, folks from I had made it to the shade room. Folks from all around the country. We got 18 chapters throughout the country, from down south to west coast to especially right here in the
yeah.
Midwest. Our strongest
Yes.
chapters are here. Listen, folks was
Yes.
gonna be driving in that next day. And it was gonna be a problem. It was gonna be a problem. You know, I tell my wife this all the time. I said, I wish they would have kept me in there for another day just so I could have saw that, just so that everyone could have saw like we don't have to sit here and take this.
That would have been the Malcolm X moment.
Yeah, they was coming to get me, and she meant that. She meant that.
Yo, that's That's crazy, man. Oh man, and I don't know. Let me Nat Turner. I'm just looking in the
Mm,
comments real quick. What do you say? I find that Forever Family Force in the UK and New Era Cleveland should collab with each other. We need global black unity. Have respect, rebellion, and Chairman Fahiem. Not
I
sure what the
say,
last part
I'm
meant,
with that.
but that's pretty dope. Yeah, and he's definitely glad that you suing them.
Hmm.
They're not. That's gonna be tough though, bro.
Yeah,
And I'm not even talking about the legality or the winning. I'm talking about
yeah,
after you win.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Like that. You know what you know what I'm going
Yes,
with,
sir.
and I'm
Yes, sir.
yeah. So I want to make sure that you
Yeah, I'm
keep your head
playing
on a
chess
swivel,
now.
bro.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
please do.
yeah, yeah.
What's next for New Era?
Hmm. This developing this community safety concept now. This alternative to traditional policing. That's where we locked in now. Really, so we're launching. Well, we did launch this community safety pilot project that we're doing over like in the Buckeye, Woodhill, Larchmere area. Um, so people can kind of really redefine what community safety looks like. This is, and I say this all the time. Safety is not just the responsibility of police officers. That
Right.
fall on us that live in these neighborhoods that's experiencing these issues. That fall on us too. If you got a business in these neighborhoods where this stuff is happening, that falls on you too. If you teach or work in this community, safety falls on you as well. So, just this strategy that safety is a community responsibility. Um, that's where we're moving at with this. So, we kicked off our New Era Cleveland, our New Era Elite and Trauma Response. So that looks like this security aspect as well as this mobile trauma response team because most of the incidences in our neighborhoods are based from trauma
Yeah.
and mental health. So, a different approach to addressing some of those issues, domestic violence, um, and missing girls, missing women. All our approach to that needs to look different. So we've launched that. I'm proud to say we have a part of our Safe Zone initiative. We have 22 businesses signed up. So this is a relationship between us and the businesses. And it's a commitment to the community. While you're here patronizing this business, as long as our business is in your neighborhood, you're guaranteed a safe space, a place of refuge while you are on these premises. We
Okay,
see
but
businesses lock the doors when folks getting assaulted.
the goons can't be too happy with that. I mean, are you getting
Yeah,
pushback from the other side?
yeah. I come from that, and a lot of our members come from that, and you know, I'll be honest. Like, if you don't, if you don't have a problem with a baby being murdered, if you don't have a problem with women being snatched up, raped, if you don't have a problem with all these women being sex trafficked, our babies being sex trafficked, our elders being murdered, an elderly man was just murdered, a week ago at home in his bed. Someone shot the house up and this man is asleep. A stray bullet hits this man in the head. If you don't have a issue with that, you're the ops, in my eyes. And to be honest, like, when, I don't even care about people like that pose opposition to us when we move. But for the most part, 99.9% of the time, it's love and respect because we come with peace, love, and respect. And in the words of my brother E out of Chicago, we show our people love and unity. And then when niggas act up, we show them black power.
I like that right there.
Yes, sir.
Now, I will say there is there's a reason they take out our leaders, and I'm not talking about the positive ones.
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about the niggas at the top of the nigga chain
Yeah.
because they maintain order.
Hmm.
I'm,
Hmm.
I'm not I'm not one of these pie in the sky people that believe that
Hmm.
that crime should not exist. Crime
Hmm.
serves a purpose for us all.
Hmm.
It really
Hmm.
does. It employs a lot of us on the other side of crime.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But there
And then
used to
take
be a
care of
time,
families. Yeah.
yes, there used to be a time where
Generations.
crime
Hmm.
was targeted towards those individuals that chose that crime.
Hmm.
You know, and if and when like there was a baby or an old lady or whatever, that the streets took care of that.
Yeah.
You didn't have to worry about the cops looking
Yeah.
for them
It was
because
a
they knew
code. Yep.
it was a code,
Yep.
and you could make certain arrangements just like Malcolm X and Bumpy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
You could have an
There's
arrangement
respect.
with, with
Yeah.
with somebody that you knew was completely on the other side of what you are, where you are morally, but you
Mm-hmm.
understood that he's a chess piece and he's a
Mm-hmm.
king on the other side of the board.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just fuck over a king randomly.
Yeah.
You have to deal with a king accordingly.
Yes, sir.
And they both had that same respect, and shit got
Absolutely.
handled.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you don't have that no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and
That's
that's
one of
why
the
you.
things that we trying to bring back. You know, understand the way that Cleveland gang politics are now. Is
Mhm.
like we used to have hoods and sets. It's more so now little smaller gangs that then branched off and started doing their own
Yeah.
thing. So it's no organization to it. There's no structure. So what we do is we link up with the big dogs, the influencers, the ones that's these younger guys are emulating and trying to be. Even though
Mhm.
some of these young guys now, you got a few out that's rogue that's just doing whatever. They not really um they're not really linked to any set location or any neighborhood. They just kind of roaming and doing and just unleashing chaos.
Yeah.
But the ones that are the influencers in the city, those the ones that we tap in with. Like, listen, bro, yeah, this and that going on over here, and those guys, listen. When I say they pull up every time, um, one thing about a month ago, we set out to establish the street code to bring that order back in
Mm.
place. So we called to the tables all the ones that are the influencers, rappers, and folks showed up from up the way to down the way, east side to west side. And this is something that we currently building out. We'll have finalized soon, but we're going to implement a street code. And when folks violate, you
Mhm.
know, like neutral sites, a football game like what just happened in Garfield, a shooting at a high school football game. You know what I'm saying? Like that place, that's a neutral site.
Yeah.
Stuff like that shouldn't take place there. You shoot up a
People's
house.
mamas shouldn't have to be ducking.
Come on now. Come on
You
now.
know,
So
unless now there are some mothers that are absolutely complicit
Gazelda
in this
Blanco.
goofy shit. I'm just I'm just saying, and,
Yeah,
and I,
yeah,
I I
yeah.
actually I was not thinking about her. I was thinking about somebody else, but I don't want to get myself shot up.
Oh yeah.
So
Yes, sir. Uh-huh.
I would, I would like to live the rest of whatever life I got left peacefully,
Mm-hmm.
die in my sleep like a good old man supposed to.
Yes, sir.
You
Yes,
know,
sir.
which is it's fucked up that we got to be so delicate about shit. I guess you
Yeah,
don't have to. It's a
yeah,
choice.
yeah.
The
This your
older you,
show, man.
well, you know what? The older you get, the more practical you get.
Mm-hmm.
When I was 25, I didn't give two fucks.
Yeah,
I didn't think I was. I was surprised I made it to 25.
yeah,
The rest of the world told me I wasn't shit.
yeah,
I was gonna be dead or locked up at 25. I was neither, and I was like,
yeah,
fuck, I'm still going.
yeah.
But I made some bad choices. That's how I ended up in Cleveland.
Mm,
I was making very, very, very bad life choices, and one day, and I had kids, and one day I woke up and I said, actually a friend of mine got killed.
mm,
Another friend of mine got shot, and it was only a matter of time. Like I hadn't done anything to anybody specifically. I
yeah.
wasn't running from shit. Well, I guess I was running from something. I was running from a different destiny.
Mm, mm-hmm.
And I packed up a bag, literally left a shitload of stuff there. I kind of regret that part, but I got on the bus and I came down here. I had, my cousins was down here and my mama was down here at the time. And I just never left.
Mm,
It was it's not the easiest path, but I wouldn't be here.
yeah.
I'm fairly certain of it.
Mm.
Or I'd be in somebody's prison. Life would not be as good as it is now.
You needed a clean start,
Yeah, I
a
absolutely
second
needed a clean
chance.
start.
Yep.
Yes, yeah,
That's
and
all.
I had.
That's all. Some people need.
You got to decide it for yourself, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and it wasn't. It's crazy. It's like there was no rock bottom for me. There was just I needed to be able to see my daughters have kids. I needed them. I needed to be able to give them the opportunities that I felt like maybe I didn't get. My mother did a great job. She had a good job, and she did a great job with me. But there were some things I'm like, you know what, I can improve on what she did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to see my kids graduate.
Mm.
Graduated from college.
That's
I
a
got
beautiful
six
thing.
grandkids. So like mission accomplished.
Man, you got a lot of grandbabies.
Oh my, hey, I got nothing to do with that, bro. How,
Right, 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 right. They just visited. Yes, sir.
but
How many
like
daughters?
I got three daughters.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right. I
Yeah,
got two. Two girls,
yeah.
one boy.
Oh my God, man. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I
daughters
got
are.
five altogether total. Um,
Oh yeah, you got me
because my
beat.
wife had yeah, my wife had two sons, and then we had a son together. I came to the table with two daughters.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you definitely got me beat. But I'm gonna tell you,
Man.
man, like daughters are like I didn't I couldn't fathom having daughters when I had them. Like what the fuck did like what am I supposed to do here? I had no clue.
Mhm.
But the journey, bruh, and they daughters keep giving,
Mhm.
especially to,
Mhm.
to pops,
Mhm. Yes,
and
sir.
then they give you children. Well, not you,
Yeah.
but they give you grandchildren,
Mhm.
and it just man, like have my oldest grandbaby will be here tomorrow actually, and she FaceTimes us all the time. She'll be 13 this month.
Mm.
Yes, I'm fucking
Mm.
old,
Man.
but yo, the
Teenager. Man.
joy, the
Yeah.
joy that child brings. Granddaddy, you need to be eating better. You need to be doing
Mm.
this. Blase split. Have you done this? Okay, you're gonna have a couple of cheat days, and then you need to go back. Like just. I could go on and on. I'm sorry, bro.
Mm.
I get on my when talking about my grandkids, man. I fucking talk forever.
Yes, sir.
If people want to tap in to New Era Cleveland, how they go about doing that?
Um. So our phone number is 216-772-1517. You could call or text that phone number if you're interested in joining. If you want to volunteer, if you are a resource or want to help provide support. Um, Cash App $NEWERACLE. So Cash App is $New Era Cle. Social media at New Era Cleveland, Facebook and Instagram. We post a lot of our work on social media as well as we promote a lot of our events on social media. We have a cleanup scheduled. We do neighborhood cleanups. We have a cleanup scheduled Saturday the 3rd, tomorrow, in the Buckeye area. So we're going to meet at the Buckeye Plaza at 5 p.m. 11501 Buckeye Road. And then the following Saturday, we're doing a mobile resource distribution. This is like really one of our biggest events that we do throughout the year. Um, Load up a U-Haul truck, DJ, hygiene kits, I mean, diapers, wipes, everything that someone in true need would need. We hit the door and we go door to door. We knock on every door in that neighborhood. Hey, what y'all need? We got toys, we got school supplies, we got socks, deodorant, food. If you need support, grief, trauma, recovery, if you need to talk to someone, a peer support person, we got all of that right here for you. And we go door to door with it.
Yo, I did that once with New Era Detroit,
Mm, yeah,
and
lit.
the look on people's faces, just the pride that
Yeah,
people
yeah.
had that
Come
other
on.
Detroiters was doing that for them.
Hmm.
Man, it was some powerful shit,
Yeah.
man. And that shit ain't easy.
Nah, it's a lot of
Picking up
walking.
somebody
It's
else's trash
yeah,
is not easy,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Salute to you. And if
Hmm.
don't nobody else tell you today, man, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
No, absolutely, man. I try to make sure I tell everybody that, man,
Yes,
because
sir.
we need to
Thank
hear that.
you.
We don't hear that enough.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that, brother.
Oh, come on,
Thank
man.
thank you for allowing me on your platform.
Oh, come on, man.
I
Shit,
appreciate you.
oh, no doubt, man. That's what I'm here for.
Yes, sir.
I try to make sure that a couple of times a month I do something for us, not
Yes, sir.
necessarily just for me.
Yes, sir.
You know, and this has absolutely been one of I won't forget this one, bro.
I'll
I
come
won't.
back, man. Whenever you
Oh,
need me, I'll be
absolutely.
back.
And
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna inbox you my number, which I don't
Yes,
do,
sir.
bro.
Yes, sir.
But hit me up if you ever need anything.
Absolutely. Yes,
You
sir.
know, and
That mean a
there's
lot.
oh, absolutely, and there's some black people out here that I'm fairly certain that monetarily would be impressed
Yeah.
and would want to support and would want to do it quietly.
Yeah, it's needed because we're self funded. So everything that we do, when we do these resource drives, when we're giving back school clothes and posting community events, we put our own money up.
Yeah, tap in with the frats and the sororities.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Now they may not go on the record, and I'll give
Yeah.
you an example. Damn, what is my guy name? Oh my goodness. And I'm sorry because he passed away a couple of years ago, but he told me a story. Because he was the head of the new Black Panther Party,
Mm,
and he knew Steve Harvey,
mm, mm.
and the whole black folks across the globe was calling Steve Harvey a coon. I myself had called Steve Harvey a coon. Steve Harvey was giving money to the new Black Panther Party,
Mm, mm, mm,
and
Respect
it
to that man. Yeah. Mm,
and I'm
yeah.
sorry, like I fucking
How'd that make you feel?
you know what it like first off, I was never one to like I was never big on calling people coons for
Mm-hmm,
that reason because you never know
mm-hmm,
somebody's true intentions
mm-hmm. That's wisdom. Yes, sir.
and what they are doing that you don't know. Like
Yeah.
people call Jay-Z a coon, and Jay-Z
Mm-hmm.
has done some shit that is just not. I think a lot of us have done coonish shit,
Yeah.
and just don't. A lot of us like to just hide it in the closet.
Yeah.
But you know, people when they start hearing about all of, and I'm looking up, I'm trying to look up his name because
Yeah.
it bothers me that I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But people start giving him credit when they start finding out, oh, he
I've
helped
been doing this,
Meek
been
Mill
doing
get
that.
out of
Yeah.
jail. He did this for
Mm-hmm.
21 Savage. He did
Yeah.
this for the Black Lives. Well, you
Yeah.
know, and that's the one problem with our rich folks is that they try to do shit behind the scenes, and
Yeah.
sometimes I think they should brag on what they're doing for us just
Yeah.
as much as what they brag on what they're doing for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
You know, make giving
Yeah.
pop. Now, there's some organizations that you may want to support that you know that publicly you're gonna lose your shit for
Yeah.
fucking with
Yeah.
them. I
Yeah.
get it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
them niggas is not gonna pay your phone bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. True story.
Oh my god! As soon as I get off the phone,
Yeah.
I'm gonna, and it just bothers me that I cannot, because it's been a while, and I used to talk to him,
Mm.
and I try to honestly I try not to think about certain things, man, because it bothers
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, part of that.
oh,
That's why I try to.
Hashim and Zinga, rest in peace, King.
Hashim and Zinka.
Yes,
Rest in
yeah.
peace to that king.
Oh, very, very, very powerful dude. Like he used to come on the show, and one of the few people that I would just call up.
Yes, sir. Is he
Yeah,
from? He was from Cleveland.
no, no.
Okay. Okay.
I can't remember exactly where he was from, but it definitely wasn't Cleveland. But
Yeah.
you know,
But
it's
rest in
just
peace to that king.
yeah. Over the years, I've come across quite a few people like just really solid motherfuckers,
Yeah.
and for me,
Sir.
he was a solid motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, if you need anything, bro, don't hesitate to ask, bro. You know,
Yes, sir. I appreciate you,
that's what
King.
us old
Yes,
niggas
sir.
is supposed to be here for. Just saying.
You know, a lot of the older brothers be trying to die with the torch in their hand. You know, it's like, come on, man. You
That's a
know.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like niggas
Yeah.
want to be a leader forever. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Come on now. If you have failed to prepare a successor or this next generation to, you know what I'm saying, to get that torch and to be able to run with it and to go further and farther than you've taken it, you know, you're not a true leader.
nah. And make no mistakes, I ain't leading nobody to shit.
Mm.
I just try to help our folks when we. I'm not like I'm never gonna. I've never was that guy. I've never wanted to be that guy. I'm just understand that it's bigger than me.
Yes, sir.
Now, everybody is not going to be on the front lines. Well, people, and I say this all the time, people don't understand there's accountants in the army,
Yeah, come on now.
there's cooks in the army,
Mm-hmm.
there's mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
Without all the other people, them niggas out there shooting bullets wouldn't have bullets to shoot.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it takes us all. It takes a village.
Yeah,
You know. On that
that's
note, man,
right.
I'm gonna let you go, bruh. I appreciate your time, your energy, and your wisdom, man. And
I
shout
appreciate
out
you
to
too.
your queen, bruh. Tell her I said
Yeah,
thank you for loaning
absolutely.
you
Yes,
to
sir.
us for an hour.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, and I'll
Oh,
let her know. She's probably watching now. I'm sure.
well, shout out to you.
Appreciate you, officer. Thank you, Queen.
All right, man. On that note, man, I'm out. You have a good one.
All right, peace and love, family.
Peace.